Lesson 13.4, Converting Metric Units of Distance. Once again, we have a page that you really need to be looking at. Page 338 in your book will show you some of the conversions. 1 kilometer, which is looking like this, km, equals 1,000 meters, which we label just as m. Kilometer will be close to what we would talk about as a mile, but it's still pretty far off. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. This would be good to focus on, but the next chart I show you is going to be even more important. Let's look at it. Right here, where you see kilo and hecto and deca, and then this, then deci, centi, and milli. If you can remember this, it's going to make this whole unit super easy. And let me explain why. This is the order that everything goes from largest to smallest in the metric system. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about meters, liters, or grams. They're all going to be the same thing. So this little line right here means it could be meters, it could be liters, it could be grams. What I mean is kilo is a prefix. It could be kilometers, it could be kiloliters, or it could be kilograms. It could be hectometer, hectoliter, or hectogram. It's just a prefix. But what I'm going to mention next is going to really explain how you use this. But if you can remember that it goes kilo, hecto, deca, then this is what we call like your base unit, either meters, liters, or grams. Deci, centi, and milli. That's going to explain exactly what you're doing. And here's a note. Just as before, if you're going from larger to smaller, you multiply. Smaller to larger, you divide. So if you have kilos and you're wondering how many meters are in a kilo, you're going to take that number of kilo and you'll multiply it. If you have centimeters and you're wondering how many liters, centiliters, you're wondering how many liters, you're going to divide. So if you're going from largest to smallest, you multiply. And if you're going from smallest to largest, you're going to divide. But here's the key that I was telling you right here. The difference between every step, and I underlined it and started, every single step is to multiply or divide by 10. So let me show you what I mean. Right here, if you're going from hectometer to decameter, because you're going from largest to smallest, you're going to multiply by 10. But if you're going from kilometer to decameter, you're going to multiply by 10 to get from here to here, and then multiply by another 10 to get from here to here. So let's look at an example of this. If I have 5 hectometers, how many decimeters is that? Again, we look at it and we're going from hectometers to decimeters, so we're going from largest to smallest. So we're going to multiply. We have 5 hectometers and we're going to multiply it by 10 decameters because deca comes next. Then times 10 meters, because after decameters comes meters. And finally by 10 decimeters, because that's where we're trying to go, and it goes from meters to decimeters. So 5 times 10 times 10 times 10 will equal 5,000. So we write that in our box. So 5,000 decimeters equals 5 hectometers. Let's look at the guided practice. 1,000 centimeters equals how many meters? So we're going from centimeters to meters. So let's look at our chart. Centimeters is down here. We're going up to here. So we're going from smallest to largest. So that means we're going to divide. So I have 1,000 centimeters and I divide it by 10 at first because every step I divide by 10. So 1,000 divided by 10 equals 100. And that got me one step further. So I look at centimeters, and I went one step further. I'm at decimeters. But I have to go up to here, so I have to do it again. So now I take my answer of 100 that I got from here, and I divide that by 10. And that gives me an answer of 10. And now I'm at meters, so 10 is my answer. It would go up in here. Let's look at question number 2. 58 meters equals how many millimeters? We go back to our chart, and we have meters, and we're looking at millimeters. So we're going from largest to smallest, so we're going to multiply. And remember, we're multiplying by 10 for every step every step we have to multiply by 10. So we start here at meters, we multiply by 10 to get here, by 10 to get here, and by 10 to get here. So I have 58 times 10 times 10 times 10, and that equals 58,000. So there are 58,000 millimeters in 58 meters. Question number 3 is a little bit different. We're looking at having, which one's bigger? 9,000 meters or 20 kilometers? What we have to do is we have to get the units the same, so we can either change meters to kilometers or kilometers to meters. And so that's what I did. I chose to go from kilometers to meters. So I took my 20 and I put it here, and then I looked at my chart and said, well, to go from kilometers to meters, I'm going from largest to small, so I'm going to have to multiply. So I have to multiply by 10 to get here, by 10 to get here, by 10 to get here. So I'm going to multiply by 10 3 times. So let's see what I did. 20, I started with 20 because that's how many kilometers I had, times 10 hectometers, times 10 decameters, times 10 meters, and I got 20,000. So since 20,000 meters is greater than 9,000 meters, my arrow points open this way, which means that this is the bigger one. Now I know this is going to be confusing because this is the first time you're looking at the metric system. So if you have any questions, I highly recommend watching the video again and focusing in on this page, or this part of it, and this part of it. If you have any questions, do some practice from your book and ask me tomorrow. Hope you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.